This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, you're listening to Animal Party on Pet Life Radio. And one of my favorite guests is coming back. My favorite cat guest of all time, Dusty Rainbolt. Welcome to the show, Dusty.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, and thank you for having me back. You are my favorite talk show host, so there we go.
Well,
Mutual
that's high
admiration.
praise. That's high praise, yes. Okay, so Dusty's authored many books about cats, including Kittens for Dummies and my favorite, Cat Wrangling Made Easy. Is that what it's called?
Well, I guess so, but I think I have
That's
a better one called Cat Scene Investigator, Solve Your Cat's Litter Box Mystery. So,
see, I forever think of you as the cat wrangler. That's what I think of you as, and that was my favorite cat book at the time of all time. It beat out some very, very good cat books that came before it. And it was just so many revelations, like about timeshare and all these things. You really get where cats are coming from. So I'm happy to have you on the show. And well, let's just, first of all, last week, a couple of weeks ago, I had on the show some people with some therapy dogs. And I loved having them and everything was good about the show. But they did kind of allude to the fact that there's no such thing as a working cat. And so I wanted to give you a chance to just counter that. Are there cats out there doing good work?
I think they are. And I guess, first of all, let's discuss what a therapy cat is. You know, there are service animals, and a service animal is actually trained to perform a specific job, like seizure alert, diabetes alert, you know, picking up things or pulling people or helping with mobility or whatever.
Right.
That is a service animal. And I guess legally they say that on airlines cats can't be service animals, but I do know of people who have cats that alert to seizures and diabetic issues. So,
that's amazing. So they could possibly do that. But normally it's therapy, right? It's comfort?
It is. It is. And I don't know where those people are coming from. I mean, quite honestly, I'm intimidated by big dogs. So if you walk in my room and you've got a Great Dane, I don't know that I'm okay with that, but there are probably people who would be intimidated by large dogs, no matter how sweet or well-behaved they are. So,
well, you get these headlines where someone tries to smuggle a peacock on an airplane, or you see on TV yesterday, I saw that a Florida man has a pet alligator as an anxiety pet. Of course, it's taped its muzzle shut or it'd probably eat him. But, these are the kind of things people are doing, right? And so is a therapy cat really a thing? Well, I've seen cats working in old age homes, and it is work. And I've seen them giving comfort to people, various people, whoever needs it. And these cats are chosen because they're those type of cats. And so I've seen cats used with children when terrible things are happening and the children have to be sort of in a limbo situation at some police station or somewhere scary, and a cat is put in their arms. This is very effective therapy, I think. So I don't want to cut the cats short. I don't want to, slight them. They're working.
Well, let's go back to the airline thing, because I think that's really the crux of what is going on here. And as far as I know, Americans with Disabilities Act permits you to take a service animal or a comfort animal, an emotional support animal, on a plane with you, or allows you to go into public housing with these animals. And then if you have a service animal, you can go other places like restaurants and
hospitals, government
hospitals
buildings.
And grocery stores. So, you've got your apples and your oranges, the emotional support versus the service animal. So one of the problems I think we have with this situation is, because of ADA, you can't really ask a lot of questions. You can have an animal that you're pretty sure is just a pet, and they're trying to get on the airline for free because, hey, it's very expensive to travel with an animal. But,
right. So that's why they're doing it. Okay.
But the problem with the emotional support animal is there's no special training involved. It just makes you feel good. And up until recently, emotional support could be the peacock. It could be, one of the problems is...
there was a squirrel at one point.
Squirrels, reptiles, and as long as the reptile is put up, I'm good. But, even people who bring spiders on board. I'm sorry, you bring a spider or a snake on a plane? I think there was a movie about that,
It's a hard line to draw, though. I do think it's difficult to draw, and you have to balance the needs of the other people. And then there's the whole factor of allergies. So partly why I had these people on the show is because recently I've had standard poodles go to service. 3 last year. That one's an epileptic seizure detection dog for a child, another one's an anxiety dog for a person, and another one is a hospital visitor. And so, these dogs have the bonus of looking, if you groom them that way, very harmless to most people, and also not shedding. So they could go in and out of a hospital where people do have respiratory issues, or on an airplane where the air is circulated, that kind of thing. And I see there's a flaw with the cats that way. Like you really, if you've got cat allergies, you got a problem when the cat's around you. But as far as giving therapy and comfort, especially in old age homes, can't think of anything more compatible.
Absolutely. But back to the airplane, I truly think that, I have traveled with my cats, not as therapy animals, but as pets, where I pay the $150 each way fee. And I've had people complain, you've got that cat. It's like, look, lady, I have cat dander all over me. You have just as much to fear from just me physically as you do
That's
from
a good
the
point.
cat. So,
that's true.
Unless
that's true. And everybody has their thing, right? Some people wear perfume or cologne or spicy food, or, you can be allergic to almost anything. And so, what if someone has, right now in Vancouver where I live, the cherry trees are starting to bloom and I'm allergic to them. If someone has bushes of those, if they have big trees outside their property and the cherry trees are all over their shoes and the pollen's on their car, and they walk into a Starbucks the same time I'm there, I'm going to start sneezing. My eyes are going to start watering just because of that. It's not their fault. I can't make them, decontaminate. At some point, I got to just deal with it. But okay, so we're going to go to break and we're going to come back and we'll talk a little more with Dusty Rainbolt. Stay tuned, everybody. It's going to be a cat show today. Stay tuned to Animal Party on Pet Life Radio.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, we're back on Animal Party, Pet Life Radio. My favorite cat author, Dusty Rainbolt, is on the show. Welcome back, Dusty.
Hi, thank you for having me again. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, okay, so I read in the newspaper that Victoria, which is the capital of my province, it's a pretty big city, that there's people saying that cats should be licensed, not allowed to roam freely outdoors, and this is to protect wild birds. The Victoria Natural Historical Society is arguing for this. It's a 750-member society, and they want mandatory neutering of all cats over 6 months of age unless the owner applies for a special permit or for breeding or for medical exemptions. They want all cats to be licensed and vaccinated against rabies, all cats to be confined to their owner's property or when off premises to be on a leash. And already the politician in question, the mayor, has said that she doesn't have the resources and isn't interested in policing cats. The outcry happened because some people saw some of these some cats, maybe wild cats, feral cats, I don't know, stalking ducks and ducklings. And so that's what started this. And cats are said to be the largest predators of wild birds and the big problem there, and they're often blamed for this. So I wanted to bring this to you. I as I was reading this, I was thinking of you because I was thinking, I let my cats go in and out on my farm, and I've had cat experts on before who are on the cat side of this, not the bird side. And they don't like that. They want me to keep my cats inside, and they want me to do all these things these people are saying. So I'm curious, where do you come out on this one?
Well, I hate to say this, but I'm on the fence about this. It's all about owner responsibility, and if you have a cat, you need to be responsible for it one way or the other. You do have the option if you live in the city of having a cat fence, and that allows the cat to go out and be a kitty cat and play in the grass and soak up sun. But on the other hand, if you have a cat and you keep them inside, you have to provide outlets for them that allow them to behave as they would, as they need to, mimicking living in the wild. Now, I don't agree with the bird people. I've spoken to a lot of hunters, and they say that outside of human influence, if you go into the wild, the forest or whatever, you don't see cats. Cats can't survive outside of human influence because they're small prey and they are dinner, and you're just not going to see things outside of a community. They say coyotes' favorite food is house cats, so they're not going to get very far. That's actually true, and they've done studies, and they don't know whether the coyotes prefer, and they do actually prefer cats over other prey, but they don't know if it's because they taste better to a coyote or if they're just easier pickings. It could be either one. But there have been studies where in Chicago, outside, when you get into the forest area or whatever, wild areas, the cats don't go there. They stay on the outskirts of human influence, even feral cats. And so, the avian societies are saying that cats are the largest bird killers ahead of buildings and automobiles. I just find that hard to believe. Extremely hard. I do not believe that. And this particular veterinarian of mine said, he simply can't believe it because if they were such killers, how many birds are outside of the influence of humans? So if it's not the cats killing them out in the wild, then what is it? It's probably, I'm not saying that birds aren't declining, but you've got pesticides, and you've got rat poisons, and you've got all this other... Fires and climate change. Lots of displacement. It's not even declinement. I think it's sometimes displacement. Like I'm up here in Vancouver, and we see birds we've never seen before every time there's fires in California, which unfortunately is every year. So it's not that they're missing, it's that they're going other places sometimes. But there is a problem. There's the other side of this, though, that as a cat owner, maybe I am being irresponsible because it is said that if you keep your cats contained inside, they'll have less fights, they're less likely to get poisoned, they're less likely to get hit by cars, your vet bills go way down, your cats live a long life. Now, I've had cats I've had to euthanize when they get so old, 2 decades worth. So I don't know what's happening there, but I get that in theory anyway, inside is safer. In Calgary, cat owners pay $18 a year when their pet's neutered to register, and all these rules are in place there. So I wonder if this is the way the world's going. And I don't know, it's going to be pretty hard to regulate the cats, I think. I think so, too, just because they're cats, and cats are not valued as much as dogs are. Dogs... People take them for walks. They participate in the dog's life. The cats, they just let out, and that's a human issue. It's recommending you take your cat for a walk on a leash. And I have had people hire me to teach their cat to walk on a leash, teach their cat to accept a harness. It's totally doable. But I always worry when they set out on these walks with their cat that they're going to run across the wrong off-leash
sight hound, pet dog with prey drive, and it's going to come out of nowhere and think, basically like lunch on a rope, bad, right? And I worry. And there've been a couple times. One time I was at the Great Canadian Pet Fair hosting, and someone decided to bring a cat on a leash into the dog area. How could we possibly guarantee that all the dogs coming are good with cats? Another person brought a ferret in. Again, ridiculous. Like, think about where you're taking your cat if you're leashing it and taking it places, right? I mean, my goodness.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, in the Dallas area, we recently had a situation. We have a problem with dog owner responsibility. And, many people have been killed by wandering dogs. Cats don't pack. Cats don't attack in a group. And cats aren't going to kill you, but dogs can. And recently there was a lady who was walking her, it was a small dog, like a Yorkie or a Silkie, and she saw a dog coming toward her, so she picked up her little dog and held it in her arms. And the large dog bit her and grabbed the dog and the small dog and killed it. So, taking your cat for a walk is, I think, risky. Even in communities like mine where you don't generally have wandering dogs, occasionally you do have them. And they do pack. And, even if you have a coyote in the area, there have been cases where owners have been taking their dogs out for a walk, and the coyotes have taken the dogs literally off the leash and just, snack food.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we're going to have to go to another break. We're going to talk more about coyotes when we come back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio. Stay tuned while I interview Dusty Rainbow, my favorite cat author, on Animal Party Pet Life Radio.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, we're back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio, and we were just talking about coyotes. Coyotes have been in the news a lot here because at a schoolyard, one was chasing several children, preschoolers, and in another incident, one attacked, mother defended a school-age child, small though, and recently loads of cats are going missing. Their favorite food is cats. Also, cougars' favorite food is cats. We had a cougar shot in our area recently, but they say there's still another one. And there have been footage of this cat walking through the schoolyard, lounging, big cougar, lounging on people's decks, completely unafraid. Now, sometimes I think people think wolves will be nice to dogs because they're all canines, or cougars will be nice to cats because they're all felines. No, your cat is prey for these animals. Your dog is a threat or prey most of the time. So I don't think people quite get the risk. Plus the diseases, right, Dusk?
Absolutely. You just hit it on the head. And diseases can come from a number of different sources. There are some diseases that raccoons carry that can be transmitted to cats. So, I think feline distemper can go back and forth between raccoons and cats.
Oh, it's interesting you mentioned raccoons. There was this lady, I used to visit her house to feed her cats and take care of her animals when she was away. And she used to have these overflowing bird feeders in her backyard. And the squirrels and the raccoons and her cats, everybody was all out there together. And I used to say to her, I don't like that. I just don't like it. Well, the raccoons are tame. We have names for them, blah, 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 blah.
Yay.
One day, one of her raccoons ate one of her cats. just decided like it had had enough or whatever, and it just killed it and dragged it off into the bush while she watched through the picture window. Don't count on wildlife being tame just because you feed it. In fact, don't feed it. How do we get people? Yeah. Okay, so I would like to ask you, let's see. I saw on TV recently 3 things that bothered me. There was a commercial for Volkswagen showing this guy talking about how his sled dogs don't like snow, so he drives them around in the car instead. Stuff like this really bugs me. Then just before Christmas, there was this otter, this wild otter that got into this fancy, fancy koi pond in this fancy Chinese garden. And it was eating all these koi, including koi worth thousands, 50-year-old koi and all this. And they were trying to catch it. And they just had all these experts. And they were trying to catch it with dead bait. And everything was going wrong. And I'm just watching it going, why aren't they asking someone who knows? What is wrong with these people? Anyway, finally, it decimated all the koi. And they had to move the koi. And they got rid of the otters. And they kept quoting people, and they kept saying, oh, well, someone must have purposely put the otter there. And I'm thinking, no, otters swim. We've had lots of water. Anyway, finally, they quote this one guy who said, well, he didn't take the bus when they were asking, how did the otter get there? They finally find some footage of the otter just basically swimming on up and crawling on under the gate. And, nobody put it there. So that was another myth that drove me crazy. And then this morning on the news, they showed this eagle swimming, they said. And isn't it funny how he likes to swim? No, he doesn't like to swim. Somehow his feathers got wet, and now he has to climb up on a log and dry them off before he can fly. But why do they put this stuff out there without checking with somebody who knows animals? What myths have you got to share? Because there's got to be something as a cat expert that just drives you nuts. That's just like everybody thinks, but it's not true.
Well, I think the biggest one is depending on the pet supply industry to determine what's best for your cats. I speak to people all the time, and they'll say, oh, well, the cat doesn't like the litter box. It's like, well, how big is your litter box? Well, I bought it at Petco, or I bought it at PetSmart. And with the exception of one particular litter box, which is the PetMate giant litter box, it's big, and people assume because they can buy a litter box at the store, it's a good one. And the truth is that a litter box should be at least 1.5 times the length of the cat so that he can get in and move around. And it's just an assumption. Well, the pet store sells it, so it must be true.
Yes.
And it's not. Go to the hardware store and buy something that they mix concrete in. It's a much better litter box.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And cheaper too, probably.
And yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple of them. They're called utility tubs, and you use it to drag rocks around in or mix concrete. And they're just so much better than a normal litter box because they're big. They're like 2 feet by 3 feet. And they're high because you're mixing stuff in it. So, it's...
But, okay, but let's just say, if you do have an elderly cat, it might be too high. You do have to make sure your litter box actually fits your cat, right?
Absolutely, yes. And kittens, you want to encourage... You want the optimum situation for your cat. And what I'm talking about is a normal, healthy adult cat. So, yeah, you're right. Older cats, make sure it's got a low entry. What you could do is you can take a saw and you can make a hole to make it easier for them to get in and out of. And I do that.
Okay, well, we've been talking to Dusty Rainbow, and I'm going to ask you to come back and do a follow-up show because I want to talk to you about my new kitten. I saved that so I can get you to come back.
And we're going to talk about your new kitten.
Oh, right on. Okay. And I'm also going to ask you about natural remedies. Sometimes I think people think the word natural. I noticed if it says natural on the package, it's $10 more usually. But is it really natural? And I mean, poison ivy's natural. So we're going to talk about this on another show when Dusty comes back. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dusty.
Well, thank you for having me, and I can't wait to talk about poison ivy.
Oh, right on. Okay, everyone. So from me, Deb Wolf, and Dusty Rainbow, be good to your animals.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.